words, huh?
No question.
We are
Good
live.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Understanding Money Part 2. I'm James T, joining the guru, Mr. Robert Henderson. And like I tell everybody in my house, I walk around with my phone, Rob. Even when I'm doing my push ups, my phone is on the floor listening to you and Linda. Hey, great show this morning with yourself and Linda. And the message of better. Oh, my goodness. Rob, that is so powerful because that better can be expanded to, hey, just being better, doing better, finding a better way, hey, and helping others to be better. I've been really working on that because I think it was Napoleon Hill talked about the CCM, no, the QQMA is what he calls it. He said, the quality of service that you give, the quantity of service that you give, and the mental attitude in which you serve determines
Wow.
success. Oh, Rob, little things like that. I try to keep it. I try to share it so that I can really get it. And when we find out it, through what we do and who we are, that we can serve with quality, with quantity, and in the correct mental attitude, that PMA, positive mental attitude. And all of a sudden you're in the right vibration to get those things that the creator has for us that we could not ask for, see, or imagine. Rob, that makes you hey. Good morning, everybody. I'm James T. Let me stop. Robert and Linda has me on fire this morning. So I hope they have you on fire too, because I could relate directly and indirectly to a lot of the things that Robert said, because that's how our relationship started. So let me hush and let Robert introduce himself and then recap about the better this morning, because we're hoping that even this session will help you to be better and to do better and find a better way of doing it through connecting with the Henderson Financial Group. Mr. Henderson, tell them who you are.
Yes, I'm Robert Henderson Jr. I'm the president, founder, and CEO of the Henderson Financial Group. I'm a certified financial planner. And my office is located here in Miami Lakes, Florida, but we have clients all over the country, almost in every state and out of the country also. And we love what we do. Our motto is we bring the future into the present right now. Because right now, whatever you're doing right now is going to show up in the future. So you might as well be doing something good and plant some good seeds. So when harvest time comes, you'll be there, bright eyed and bushy tail to welcome it. That's what we do. And we break it down to you like a 6-year-old. James, today, when I started earlier saying how there's a certain way to do it, people that want to pay off their personal resident. I mean, there's a lot of people that put a lot of money, extra money, and it's not liquid anymore. Because once you dump it into the black hole, the equity, the floors, the walls, into the home, it's it's gonna take a lot to get it out, and you got to qualify to get it out, and money that you just volunteer putting in, and people putting in $5,000 or $2,000 a month, putting it in something that they don't have no control on getting it out. Isn't that something? Isn't that amazing?
Rob, well, that was a part of a start of our relationship because,
Yes.
hey, I can remember, and I guess it had to be back in the 80s. And thank God that I had the awakening and the relationship with you, that you brought in a different awareness, because, hey, I was under that, but I did, as Linda said, I can hear people saying that, yes, you can make good of paying off your home. But you took it even deeper, Rob, because I was paying off the home in order to put the monies that I was paying on the mortgage into income property. But even with that, there's a better way.
That's
you
right.
know, see, and this is the beautiful part about this, when you really have relationships with people who are willing to share that there's a better way. We're not saying that your way is not good, or that your idea or that your goal is not good. But just stop for a second and say, wait a minute, is it possible that there's a better way?
That's
And,
right.
and Robin will tell you, with all the kind of frogs that there is in the country, all the things we don't know, there is a better, even with what we know today, Rob,
And that's something.
there's a better way. There's a
Now,
better way.
James, you just said a mouthful, man. Even what we think and what we know right now, there's a better way. There's a better phone.
There's a better way, Rob.
There's a better way. James, you made me think about blockchain and how they're saying that Visa and MasterCard are going to be obsolete
Ooh.
in the future.
Oh, come on.
Because with this whole blockchain thing, you'll be able to pay merchants directly on your own. Isn't that something?
A better way.
A better way, man. It's good, better, best.
Never let it rest
Never let it rest
until your good is better
until your good becomes your better,
and your better becomes your best.
and your
Not the
better.
not the best, your best.
Now, that's important. And that's important too.
That's important, Rob.
That's right.
Because we want to think that there's some things that we do it the best. No,
Right.
there's nothing, Rob. There's nothing. Oh man, you know, from our personal lives, you and I learned something yesterday. I learned a better way through a phone conversation that we had.
Isn't that something?
Come on, Rob.
Beautiful, beautiful,
To know that there's a better way, and through relationships with people who do what they do and they're quote unquote good at what they do, and they're better than most at what they do.
Mastermind.
But it's still ooh, that's Napoleon Hill right there.
Mastermind.
Come on, Doc. When he said, when he got his lesson from Andrew Carnegie, and he told him, oh, no, you don't understand. You know, there's something that the Creator has given all of us. He said it's like it's two envelopes. And in one envelope, you have sound health, you have peace of mind, freedom from fear and worry. You have that positive mental attitude. You also have an opportunity to choose the kind of labor that you would love to do. And then you have material riches of all quantities, whatever it is you can create. But there's another envelope, and now you're going to get one or the other. So if you can't get that good, you're going to get that bad, because everything has the yin and the yang. It's going to, so if you're not doing the good, you're getting the bad.
Yeah.
you're getting the bad, Rob. And we want you to know that you can get better. So all you have to do is listen up. Mr. Henderson took this morning what so many of us have been taught when we grew up from our parents, our grandparents.
Right. Our loving parents.
Oh, come on, Rob. I just go back to living with a grandparent on 60 acres of land, 2 homes, no mortgage. But they didn't know about any, no one had taught them about, so they were doing good. And I'm sure my grandfather thought that, he was doing probably the best, because he was doing better than most people around him.
That's true.
Because he was leasing land. Rob, he was leasing a home. Now, come on. This is, Rob, I'm talking about when I was growing up with my grandmother, I was probably in the second or third grade. So I'm talking years and years ago, where here is this man who looks like you and I, who had an acquisition over 60 acres of land, and he had built 3 homes because one was just destroyed. So, I mean, what kind of mindset did he have? And what is his grandson now doing that would say, hey, I have gratitude for what my grandparents did, or gratitude for what my mother did or my father did, so what we must keep growing. So what I do is I choose to have a relationship with a Robert Henderson and the Henderson Financial Group, and a Linda V. Harris, and a Hyacinth, and an Antonio, and a Tavares, because they have gifts of their quote unquote operation and what they're studying in that can aid me and my family. And then it gives me an opportunity to share that information so others can be blessed by it. So, brother, when you told me there was money in the walls, and at that time, we didn't know that I could put that money in another place. So please share what happened this morning with you and Linda, and how we can find a better way with buying and paying for that mortgage?
Yeah, because it starts off with, people think that they can get to an end of paying for housing, but that's just a myth.
Mm-hmm.
You can never completely stop paying for housing. Never. That's a never-ending story.
And
You can
particularly if you
never
got a wife, Rob.
a loving wife too, right?
Ooh, but particularly if you got somebody else that says, I want this, I want this, I want that. We want to do that. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'd rather have a mortgage. Rob, I'd rather have a mortgage.
listen, it's a myth. You can never stop paying off housing ever. So if you can never stop paying off housing, why are you taking your hard-earned after-tax dollars and hurrying up paying off that mortgage? Because think about it, when money goes in and you send extra payments to the mortgage company, in order for you to ever have use and control over that money, you can't just say, okay, I want that money back and I need to go buy a car. I need to go do this or need to do that. You can't, because once you give it to the mortgage company, first of all, they don't give you no interest on it. They don't give you no accolades on it. You're paying down what you owe them. But now, when you do that, they like it because you're giving them free money that they don't have to pay no interest on. Even if you put money in the bank, they at least got to give you something because they're borrowing your money. But when you taking your money and you doing it, they ain't even asking you to do it, and you voluntarily giving your extra cash flow to the mortgage company, and they ain't giving you nothing back. And then when you have put enough in there where you don't have no mortgage and you have all this equity on a piece of paper that says it's how much you have, which is an illusion, and all of a sudden you say, man, I need $30,000 for something. You can't just press a button and it comes. You got to go down to the bank, dress up, look a certain way. That's important now. That is important. Y'all think I just said that. You got to look a certain way when you go.
I might even have to get a haircut, right?
Tuck it in or something. You got to look a certain way when you sitting in front of the banker and saying you want to pull equity out of your home. They're gonna take you through the rigmarole. You got to fill out so many payments. Not only your credit got to be good, you have to have debt to equity ratio.
Mm.
I mean, if you're bringing in $5,000 a month, but you spending $5,000 a month, they're gonna ask you how you gonna pay their money back, and then whatever interest rate they want to charge you, whatever point, whatever loan original, whatever it is, it's their prerogative. You have no control, and it's your money, and you volunteer put it inside them walls. That's an old-fashioned way. It's better if you want to pay off the house, pay extra outside of the mortgage company and pile that money up, because what happens is when you're paying extra and you put it outside, you can put it in something that's earning 6%. In 12 years, whatever you put in is going to double. So if you put in $50,000, it's going to be $100,000 in 12 years. You can take that money and then pay off the house if you want to. But if you don't want to pay off the house, you have use and control of that money when you pile the money up and pay extra outside of the mortgage company. That makes a lot of sense, because rushing to pay off and hurrying up to pay off a house, you don't have no liquidity. And you always want to have some liquidity, use and control of your money. You just want to, because you never know the future what can come up. Because having a paid off house is not going to stop the housing expenses, because every 20 years you got to make a house over. You got to change the windows, you got to change the doors. You done so got to change that roof. You got to do the floors. All of a sudden you want that old kitchen, you want to change the kitchen. That stuff costs a lot of money. So either you're going to have to come out of your pocket with it, or you're going to have to try to get a loan, home equity loan, to pull out. Then you got to pay money on that and interest on that. It's amazing how we keep doing the same thing, getting the same result. You don't know anybody who does that that's rich and wealthy, because, like me, I would put money outside of that and I can control it and I can use it. And where I put it at, especially in an insurance policy, it grows. And when I take it out, I don't pay no taxes. And it grows tax-free. And I have access to it. And all of a sudden, if I wake up dead, you know, it gives me several $1 million in terms of my loved ones. You follow me? I like that plan, but I have use and control. I just had a client come to me yesterday and said, listen, he said either he needs to sell some stocks or he need to pull money out of his IUL. I said, we need to sell no stocks because the stock market is down right now.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Wait till it come back up. Remember, you're supposed to buy low and sell high. Hell, you don't supposed to sell low. So I said, well, why would we do that? And I said, remember, we diversify. You have the annuity, you have the cash value IUL. And he said he needs $30,000 to help his elderly brother. I said, no problem. You got way more than that inside of your cash value and your life insurance. You know, and I said, and you borrow at 3%. And he said, well, I got to pay monthly. I said, you ain't got to pay nothing monthly if you don't want to. You can keep the money because remember, it's $800,000 in case you drop dead. So they don't care if you pay the money back or not. It's up to you. So he said, what, Robert, you what? I said, yeah, that's why we diversify. That's why we don't just have all our eggs in one basket in the stock market. You got to have some real estate. You got to have some insurance. You know, you got to have some annuity. You got to have a whole plan, man.
Robert, the key word that you use, and we talk about this all the time, is and we have to help others to understand it, and we can get a better understanding ourselves. But it's leverage. I mean, and Rob, I don't just use it with my money. I use it at my workplace. I use it with my kids. I use it with my. Hey, it's leverage, man. I use it with people. You know, I have a gentleman right now. Hey, doing some work for me. Yeah. Hey, but I have more. Hey, Rob, I have more than one that specializes in the work that I'm trying to do. And I usually, you know, most of the time I'll get, if I need to, I'll get a couple of estimates, sometimes even 3. But then there are people, like you said, that we have a relationship with. Hey, man, come on. You know, when I can call him like this morning at 7:44 and he said, James T, I'll be there at 9:30. Hey, Rob, do you think I'm going to try to say, okay, let me call somebody else and see if they can be there at 9 o'clock? No. Right. And when you were explaining to Linda about those relationships, that's what you have when you have a financial planner and a company that's connected with so many other people that specialize in so many other things. You're not a one-stop shopping thing because you're Robert Henderson. It's because you have relationships and connections with others who specialize in all these areas of healthcare, of, you know, tax strategies, you know. Hey, so when we look at where we want to go, and we had this discussion over the weekend, we don't want to see where we are. We want to know where the putt is going.
That's right.
And believe me, if you want to be wise, hey, and you closed out the show with something that was awesome, you know, giving a projection of what's going to be happening for the next 6 to 8 months and why it's going to be happening. So all of a sudden, someone should change their mindset and say, wait a minute, even if I have the money and I was planning to do that floor, I was planning to do this, I was planning to take
kitchen
that
or whatever, right?
Or if I was planning to go to Portland, Oregon, yeah, for whatever reason, yeah. Hey, I think I'll hold back.
Timing,
Yeah.
James.
Yes.
Timing is everything. Timing is everything, right?
Right. Oh man. And see, Rob, the other thing about it is even when you withdraw those funds, and particularly to help a loved one, hey man, you can't lose with that because of the spirit in which you're doing it. You know, but a lot of other people will, you'll have to sort of coach them down as to this big pocket item that they want to buy because I saw somebody driving a Maserati all yellow and black. And as they rolled past me, I said, it could have been me. No, Rob, hey, I'll give him a thumbs up. Hey, I'll give him a thumbs up. Go ahead, Rob.
James, you know, when you just mentioned leverage, how you use leverage, you know, I got a visual in my head. Leverage in its simplest form, describing leverage.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine we on the side of a creek. and we see some freshwater fish in there, and you want to get that fish. Having leverage is to have one of those fishing poles with a net on it
Ooh,
and grabbing the fish.
it was already in
Having
my
no
head.
having no leverage, you got to dive in there and try to catch the fish. And chances of you diving in that water getting that fish is slim and none, right? But leverage is you got a pole with a net on the end of it, and you scoop down without you getting wet, and you still accomplish your goal and get that fish. Leverage, James, is so powerful and important that so many people don't understand what leverage is. Leverage is how wealthy people get wealthier. Leverage is how you can say you have wealth and not have to use your wealth.
OPM.
Yes. Leverage is the banking system says, yes, we are a bank, but really we lend money to people who don't really need money. We lend money to people who already have money. We don't really lend money to people who ain't got no money. Now that sound cold.
That's Rob. And Rob, they don't have to dress up to go in there either.
No.
They can walk in with their shorts because they're gonna see the manager or whatever. As a matter of fact, they don't usually, they might even set up their time to be after banking hours. Because they're not going in there to get 30,000. They may be going in to get 30 million.
That's right. I was reading that Warren Buffett, who's the 5th richest man in the world, he called Jamie Dimon, who is the president and chairman of JP Morgan, the most wealthiest bank in the world. He called JP Morgan on the he called Jamie Dimon on the telephone. And he said, Jamie, I need $8 billion to do a transaction. And Jamie Dimon says, Warren, you got it.
Done.
Now check this out. Warren Buffett, the 5th richest man in the world, he himself, personal, is worth over $100 billion. So you might say, as a normal people thinking, is he worth over $100 billion himself? Why would he call Jamie Dimon, who is the chairman and the head of JP Morgan Chase, why would he call another man for $8 billion to do a business transaction? Why would he do that? He got his own money. He doing it because of leverage. He had to use none of his money. And only reason why Jamie Dimon said, you got it, the same day over a telephone call. No financial documents, no nothing. This is how the world works. You got to have something. You've got to prove that you have accumulated something on your time on this earth, during your time on this earth. You got to say, I have something. This is what I've been doing. I have this building. I have this house. You can do it with a house, but you can do it mainly but you do it with a house, you got to have paperwork. But if you do it with assets, I have this, I have that, and people don't know you, once they see that you have this, they give you the money. So the whole point is, you have got to have first in order for you to get more. Blessed to the ones that have, for you should have more. We need to understand that from in its littlest form. We need to understand that concept. That's what I mean in terms about leverage. Leverage is if you on the side of a creek or the ocean and you can see the fish out there and you want one of them to eat, a snapper, grouper, bass, you either got to get your clothes wet or take off your clothes and dive in there and try to catch a fish with your slim and numb with your bare hands, or you get a net a pole with a net on it. That's leverage, and scoop it up. So that's how life works when it comes to money. You cannot spend all of your money on things and stuff and give away your power and leverage. You've got to have it. You know, I could call the bank, James, and say, listen, I need $300,000. They say, you got that, Rob. Now, I can't say I need $8 billion.
Amen.
But it depends on how much you have created and how much wealth you have when they will give you the money, because it's leverage. Because the bank is saying, listen, we will give this person X amount of money because they're worth that, because they have that. And see, when they say they're going to teach financial literacy in the inner cities, when they're going to teach financial literacy to children, it's not so true. Because if they really taught financial literacy to the inner city and the kids, they would talk to them the way I'm talking to them about leverage, about OPM, and how you have to have something in order to get something. But they don't. They tell them what a bank is a savings account. Bank is not a savings account. Bank is lending. When you put your money inside of a bank, you lending your money to the bank, and the bank is paying you a little bit of interest. And they use your money however they want to use your money. And if you come in the next day and you figure you want your money, they ain't giving you the same money that you put in there. They're giving you Miss Sally money or somebody else next to you who just put their money in. It's major pyramid scheme, but it's legal in America for banks. That's how the banks make a lot of money. If you try to do that same thing, they call it a Ponzi scheme, and they will put you in jail.
Because the government is not going to back yours. Right?
That's right. Government not going to back yours.
The government will back their scheme.
Government will back their scheme, but ain't gonna back yours. Because
of something that you said. Again, you say a lot of things I hope don't go past people. You know, hey, and man, it just hurts me when we're talking about, I don't vote because I'm not going to vote for the lesser of two evils. Okay, so you don't vote because you won't vote for the lesser of two evils. And who do you think win? Evil wins. Yeah. Every time. So, hey, that's why people will spend millions of dollars to get in those positions, because, hey, Rob, they spend millions of dollars and put you in a position and give you a phone call. Hey, believe me, you know, even if you don't say yes then, because you don't want to be caught up, you're going to do everything you can to see that it gets done, what they're asking you to do within the legal limits of the law. And some people will step over that line.
Yes.
So we have, you know, there was another thing that someone said that comes to mind right now. And it says that we have been given the power to take control or possession, you know, of our minds and direct it to the ends that we desire. So a lot of times we think that it's just circumstances, you know, that brings us to these positions, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. No, but a lot of times, Rob, it's that we have not taken control of our thinking. We have not taken control of our mind and says, hey, here is where I want to go. And not here's where you want to go because you can see it. Here's where I want to go, and I don't really see how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to keep that in mind, and I'm going to see if I can attract those things and those people that I need to get me there. You know, because Rob, if we wanted to go to New York, boom. I mean, even if there wasn't a flight available, there's multiple ways that we could go. But if we want to get to some place we've never been before, we don't even know where to start. We may have to just do like Abraham. We just have to leave from where we are, even if it's walking out the yard, you know. But again, that's the mindset. And when you guys were talking this morning, that was what I said. Oh my goodness! And I'm going to be posting it up on my social media platform as well, because it really does hopefully make somebody go, you know, maybe I need to give them a call, you know, because here's what I'd love to do. But if there's a better way, maybe they will share with me the better way. And then I can share with somebody else as to how it was done. Man, I love sharing the fact, you know, with family and friends and others who are seeking particularly to do things either for themselves, their family, or the community, I'm saying, oh, come on. Hey, this person, that person. I mean, hey, and I'm not looking for a commission. Hey, I'm rooting for you, because as they say, when the tide comes in, every boat in the water rises up. So if we can keep the tide coming in and people, hey, having a different mindset and seeking how to do things better, hey, we can win, Rob. We
Yes.
can win. How can they go about looking at that mortgage of the house differently? And where can they put those monies outside of that mortgage that would give them better?
305-825-1444.
1444.
Just call our office and just set up some time conference call. And I'll actually talk to you one-on-one, and we can have a sit down. We can do a Zoom, we can do a conference call. And I need to find out where you are, what you're trying to do, and I'm gonna show you how to do it better. Just call 305-825-1444, because everybody's situation is different. But conceptual wise, we'll craft a strategy just for you and your situation, how to accomplish your goals and objectives. See, because James, we've been told all the time is to go to school, go to college, get a job, get married, buy a house, retire, and pay the house off before you retire. Which that's not a formula of success. You may think it is, but really it isn't, because you always want to do better. Now, if you're doing good and you figure you're doing good, you don't really want to stop at good, because God has blessed us with life. God has blessed us with the gift of life. I feel that what we do with our life is our gift back to God. How do we be all we could be? And we all should be striving to be as best that we could be. Now, anytime you think that wherever you are in life, you think this is it for me, no more brains for me, I can't learn no more, then that's a sad state of consciousness. You should always be feeling like, man, I want to be better and get better. And all you need a lot is information. And there's a lot of information out here. And anytime you close your ears and close your whole thought, you begin to die. You begin to become obsolete. It's like I was just saying earlier in the first show, how blockchain is going. We're taking a course on that right now, financial course on the future in terms of blockchain and basically in crypto. I mean, even though you hear a lot of crypto, Bitcoin and all that, that's just the surface. Our lives, all of our lives, are going to be affected by what's coming in the next 10 years. And they're already working on it, man. They got something called Chat GPT, where you can actually craft, you can actually speak into it's artificial intelligence, man. It's going to replace a lot of people's jobs. You can actually speak and say, make me a song with Tupac and Biggie talking about I want to love forever. And the computer will actually make a song and mix them in it, saying that, their voices and everything. Can you believe that? It's amazing what's coming down the pipeline. They're going to have it where you're not going to have to be able to have a Visa, MasterCard, whatever merchant, whatever you want to buy, it's going to be direct, and you can do it on your phone. They're going to cut out the middleman. Title insurance companies, where you want to buy some real estate and you have to have an attorney and do a title search and all that to make sure there's no liens or encumbrances, that's going to be gone. That's going to be like the horse. That's going to be like horse and buggy. All of that, they've been working on this thing for a while, and they're going to present it to us. I'm telling you, life is about not just being good, but getting better, and not just staying better, but striving toward best. And best
is your best.
Is your best. And it's a never-ending story. You never get to your best. As long as you're alive, it is continuous best. What's best today is not best tomorrow. It continues to get better and better.
Hey, success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea. Yes, sir.
That's right.
And it keeps progressing. It keeps progressing.
That's right.
And if we don't, you can imagine if we're here and it keeps progressing, we're getting further and further away from that is going to directly affect our lives and the lives of our children. And I'm going to tell you, if we have that love for those children and grandchildren, we best prepare them not for what we're doing, but for where the putt is going. Yeah.
Yes.
And that, oh man, I got a message just recently. How one of my kids is, hey, they're continuing their education, and education of going to a goal, not just going to school to say I have a paper, but they now see, after being in the world, that hey, wait, if I become better at this, and if I learn more at this, I can do better. And yes, stand out in doing so, because everybody's not pursuing. Some people are just happy with making, hey, 60,000, 50,000, 40,000, 30,000, 100,000, 200,000. So, they say, no, this is it, but hey, when Michael Jackson did that, it was it. It was over.
When I spoke earlier in the first show, when I said how we need to understand how just paying extra, why it's not a good thing financially to pay extra on your mortgage, is because, like I said, when you send extra payment to your mortgage company, you don't get rewarded for it. They don't pay you interest, and your money should always be earning interest. It's better for you to send that same payment and put it into an account that's going to pay you interest, and you can save it outside the mortgage company. If your goal is to, let's say you owe $100,000 on your mortgage and you want to pay it off, and you say you want to pay it off in 10 years, well, that's $833 a month. If you do that at the end of the year, 12 months, that's 10 grand. So then you say, okay, if you take that $833 and put it and send it to the mortgage company, you get nothing. And it's going to take you 10 years of paying $833 a month for 12 months. Because after you do that for 1 year, it's $10,000. You would have sent to the mortgage company. Your monthly payment is going to be the same, but now you chopping down on your debt. But what if you took that same $833 and put it into an insurance plan or put it into another investment vehicle? You still would have contributed $10,000 a year. But what if you're getting compound interest on that money versus just sending that same $800 to the mortgage company and getting no interest? So after 10 years, if you just took that $833 per month, each year is $10,000. After 10 years, you would have actually gave them $100,000. So your mortgage would be paid off. But if you would have took that same $833 and put it into an investment that's paying you, well, right now there's some that's paying 13% dividend. That's paying you 13% or 12% in 6 years. In 6 years, you'd have $100,000. So would you rather give them $10,000 a year for 10 years, or would you rather put that same money and in 6 years have $100,000? Because you got interest off of it outside of the mortgage company, and you paid your house off if you want to use that money in 6 years, rather than you manually doing it with no help of compound interest. It's going to take you 10 years. In other words, if you are giving money to the mortgage company, you're not getting any help with your goal. If you take that same amount of $833, that $10,000 a year, and get compound interest, you'll reach your goal in 6 years of $100,000 rather than 10 years of $100,000. So what would you rather do? Same money. You can give it to the mortgage company, and it's going to take 10 years for $100,000. Put it into an investment, it's going to take 6 years to get that same $100,000. Now, is that a no-brainer, James?
Rob, I'd rather have me a destination wedding, and I'm going to go to Santo Domingo. I'm going to go, and I'm going to spend $100,000. Now, Rob, of course
Compound
it is, Rob. Rob, and that's what we really, I think one of our greatest goals as mature adults is to reach our younger people, because they don't see the world changing, but we have lived in a world that has changed. We have seen change. And I mean, whether they believe it or not, we have more than just those five senses that they teach us about. No, we have perception, we have will, we have memory. Yeah, as much as they think we get old and can't remember, hey, there's just some things we don't want to remember anyway. But we have imagination, we have intuition, and if we can say to them, wait a minute, Rob, going to have a destination wedding or we're gonna have an anniversary. We're gonna spend $30,000. Boom, because we're gonna take our friends and we're gonna go and we're gonna have this big week or weekend in another country. Come on, Rob. And I'm not knocking people who do that when your money that you're earning from the seeds that you've planted, you know, that have given you some stability. So when you come back, you're not saying, "Oh my goodness, now I have all these bills, or now I got to work overtime, or hey, my mom needs help, or my kids needs help." So it really, to me, I just pray that we can all, and you and I and others like us, we work on it every day at learning more, studying, and wanting to, as you say, wanting to do more, not just settling for that we know, but trying to learn things we don't know and reaching out for, hey, where is it going, man? The other thing that stood out this morning, when you were sharing about how you can do it better, and Linda talked about how the price of things are today. Well, if our children and grandchildren live long enough, they're going to see these same cycles come and go as well, Rob. And the key is prepare for it, and you can take advantage of. I don't care what I tell people when I had a couple of people ask me, "Well, JST, would this be a good time with the interest rates to buy a home? Would this be a good time to buy a home?" I said, "Do you have the money?" "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I got the money." I said, "Hey, the time is now." Yeah, I said, "Hey, when I bought my first home, interest was 10%." Yeah.
Me too. Me too. It was
Rob,
10%.
it was 10%,
It was 10%.
and Rob, when you talked about having a mortgage-free house and you own the house that was next to the mortgage the mortgage-free house, and you said, "Hey, when property value increases, it don't just increase because they don't have a mortgage. It increases based on
The
hey,
praise value, right?
appraised value, appraised value."
That's it.
So again, when you say these things, and I tell people, I love, man, sometimes on the weekend, for instance, like today or tomorrow, when sometimes I have to go in my pocket and start pulling out little pieces of paper that I've just written some notes on things. So I finally got me two pads. You know, I got my daily journal and I got me another pad that, because there's just some things that we need to take note, and we could say, "Oh, I won't forget that." But yes, because we have so many other things that are happening and so many things going on in our lives. So if we will write them down, and hey, okay, so you don't want to write it down. I know you can jump in the phone, you can go to your notes and you can hit it up, boom, 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 boom. But if you don't put it where you can go back to it, it's just in the phone because
Yeah,
you want application. That's what
that's true.
wisdom. That's what wisdom truly is. Take what Mr. Henderson is saying. Take what High C and Tavares and Antonio and Linda. Take what they're saying, and when it touches your spirit, you don't have to get it all. But Robert was talking about the little health thing that he's doing now. He loves the fact that he can say, "I can do 100 push-ups a day."
Hey, James, see, I'm really in living color. Uh, 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 I'm really in living color, amazed that anytime I learn something that I didn't know, I didn't think I could do,
Come on.
then it lets me know, man, oh my God, it's more of this. You know what I mean? I just didn't know that I could, like, eat once a day and still and don't get a headache and be fine. And then your body get used to it. After you do it for a week, you don't even get hungry no more in the morning time. It just your body just say, okay, we're gonna eat at dinner. And right now I'm tempted to say, man, let me try 2 days.
Hey, Rob, you gonna get there because I do 10, 20, and 30. Oh, hey,
Hey, James, say it again. You do what now?
10, 20, and 30.
What does that mean? 10, 20, 30.
I fast 10 on the 10th, the 20th, and the 30th. Of course, I can't do it on the 30th of February because there's no such thing. But every month, I'll do that. And Rob, for years I've been doing a ritual of 4 days before the new year. And people can say, when I say ritual, I'm not talking about spiritual. I'm just saying I want to have a routine. I want to develop a habit that I feel helps me, not just to be a better person in thinking, but also physically. I was sharing with a coworker yesterday, and I said, "Hey, man, one thing I pray for you to do is to be mentally and physically healthy. For your family, because Rob, we can get into that acquisition mode. I want. So off to work I go, and then all of a sudden, hey man, find yourself in a situation where wait, I don't have the sound health, I don't have the peace of mind, I don't have the freedom from fear and worry. Now these are all things that we were given at birth. This was a gift, and as you said earlier, the gift that we can give back is to maintain the gift that we were given.
Yeah.
And to grow it. So with your hey, because brother, I look at our relationship as we haven't scratched the surface.
Oh no, man. Hey, James, man, it's more than we can ever imagine. Hey, it's more than we can ever imagine. Man. Tell me, what do you think about when I talked about on the last show, on the 9 o'clock show from 9 to 10, about the recession and what the government is have a relationship with the business owners, the corporations of America. There's a close relationship with the White House, the government, and corporate America. There is a extreme corporate. There's a relationship. It used to be they were separate. It used to be where politics was politics and the government was government, and corporations and business was businesses, and the government will actually rule. I'm gonna say this again. It used to be where the government politicians ruled America. That has changed.
All we have to do is look at who's being elected and put in what positions, Rob.
Corporations,
money,
business, money has now taken over, and it rules government. And government makes policies that are going to benefit the powerful corporations. That's why as soon as they pass the law that corporations can now vote, unlimited amount of money, it was a game changer.
When I heard you say that this morning, that's why I said you closed out the show with that. But it was so important for us to realize that change is not coming, change is. like the people say that, hey, one of those two great words that we should think about always. I am. I am is so powerful because you can be I am poor, and you still I am. You can be I am, you can be I am in need, and you're still all these, so when government allows, as you said, hey, politics, money, corporations to get in, the one thing that we have to recognize that is so powerful that government has always wanted to do with us, and that was to create laws. Rob, and you and I know that government takes rules. They make rules laws, but the creator makes laws. And with the creator's laws, I don't care. You don't have to go to court or go before a judge. You break one of them, the law judges you because it is a law. Those rules, we're finding that if you have money or if you have connection, you can break all those laws.
Oh yeah.
All those rules.
Oh yeah.
And,
yes.
And Rob, that's I think that's where the greatest change, in our world, as we look at these United States of America, I think that's where the biggest, because all of it, if law does not rule in this country, oh my goodness, uh, we're gonna be in chaos.
Well, the laws in the country can change, and they change the law anytime they want to change the law.
Can you
To
change a
benefit.
Rob? Can we change one of those creators' laws? The creator
No,
of the
no,
universe? Can we? No, that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Can
oh
we?
yeah. Well, the so-called they call them laws, but they rules.
The rules.
They really are. They just hide behind law, but they rules because they change rules just like the NFL and the NBA. They change the rules of the game all the time. I mean, with the NFL, every year they'll change some rules, right? What a player can do. You can't hit a person with the helmet. You can't. I mean, the governing body they have a commission and they make the rules and they change the rules in the game of sports. They definitely change the rules in the game of life in America and around the world. And rules can be changed depends on who's in power. That's why our tax situations changes. Our tax code changes depending on who's in power. Those are not really laws. They call them laws, but they're
Call
really
them laws.
rules.
Yes.
Because what James is saying that a true law is immutable. It doesn't move. In other words, let me give you an example of what a true law is. Gravity. Gravity is a true law. That's from the creator. And gravity means that if you throw a pencil up in the air, gravity is going to force it back down. That's just, I don't care if you're rich or poor, black or white or whatever. I don't care if you beg or cry. If you throw that pencil pen up in the air, it's going to come back down because the law of gravity is going to force it back down. That's just it. That you cannot change that. I don't care who in office. That is a law. That's a universal law. See, law. That's a universal law. You could run a stop sign and the police could be right there. The so-called law say you should not run a stop sign. But if that police officer that saw you was your brother, you're not going to get a ticket. If it was your cousin or your wife, you're not going to get a ticket, even though that's the law. You can break the law if human beings. So that's why those are rules. Follow the rules. And oftentimes, men don't follow the rules, and men break the rules all the time.
And
Depends,
Rob,
especially if you have money, you can always not go to jail if you got money.
and Robert, their mental. We're such powerful beings that if we would also seek some of those other laws that we have been given for our mind and controlling our mind, ooh, Rob, and
Yeah.
having enough, quote unquote. Hey, I'm not trying to go to church, but hey, faith. And when I say faith, I'm not talking about ooh, God do for me. No. Having faith enough to do for yourself so that other things can be done for you. Because sometimes we just have to, hey, believe and be willing to step out, Rob.
Yes.
And it changes. It really does change our lives. Now, it doesn't mean that you might not have to suffer through something, because when you're making change, Rob, just like you said, I think you said on one of those pull-ups or something like that. Hey, in your mind, you thought, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do this, or this is going to hurt, or how am I going to go without food and just eat one time? Hey, but all of a sudden, a change of mind said, try it.
Well, even creating and following a financial plan
Yes.
is a sacrifice, because you have to give up and make some changes in order to follow the plan. It's like a map. If you have a map and it tells you which direction to go, but you ignore the map and the plan, then you're going to be off course. And a lot of people, when it comes to financial planning and prosperity, they don't even have a map. They just driving around and they're not following a plan or a course. But people that come to us, we give them a map. We give them a course. We tell them this is what you have to do. Don't deviate. If you want to get to your destination, if you want to get to your goal, here is the map. Here is the plan. And sadly, a lot of people do follow the map and they reach their goals, But it's more people that don't. More people
Mm.
say, I just cannot do this. I cannot follow this plan.
I saw
Why?
where I saw where one gentleman this morning called in, Rob, and said that he thanked you for showing him a better way. But
That's right.
like you said, hey, you just don't come and get the information and say, well, I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to do this.
Right. Exactly. If you say, listen, I need a plan, this is what I want to accomplish, these are my goals, then we can give you a map and a plan, but you got to have discipline. It's always something for you to do. It's never just going to do it on its own. And it's going to take some sacrifice because you got to break out of the old habit of what you've been doing. The only reason why you need a plan because you've been driving around in circles, you're not getting where you want to go. So we can tell you exactly. And a lot of people want to go hurry up and they want to be there tomorrow, but you didn't wherever you are right now, you didn't just all of a sudden get there tomorrow. It took some time. It's like if you 500 pounds and you want to get down to 150 pounds, you can't do it tomorrow. It took you 10 years to get to 500 pounds. You can't just say tomorrow you want to get to 200, 150 pounds. You'll be sick. That'd be too much on your body. You got to gradually get there. And you want to hurry up and have some surgery. You could die. So it's the same principle. As I was saying earlier, what's happening right now, why there's a lot of turbulence out here in the economy, is because there's war right now. There's recession. They're trying to determine whether they're going to how hard and how much they're going to press people and corporations to lay off millions of people. They don't really have to, but in order to bring down the price of goods and merchandise, they feel that they take the money out of people's hands, because we have found the enemy, and the enemy is us. I'm going to say it again. We have found our own habits. They're on you, me, us, all of us. We have habits that don't mean us any good. Some of us have high blood pressure. Some of us had diabetes. And my goodness, we eating all the chocolate cake and not even taking them pills, not even taking that medicine. We do it to ourselves. In the economy, we doing it to ourselves because nobody tell you got to go out there and buy all that stuff. Nobody tell you have to go out there and keep charging and charging and charging credit card. They charging you 29% interest, credit card, and telling you to pay the minimum and keep you in servitude. But we do it ourselves, and we do it because we say we can.
Rob,
so the government.
Rob, I want to say something. Please excuse me for interrupting, but I want to say this because I think you have said something that most people won't even put together. Now, we talked about how corporations and quote unquote wealthy people also are now with government, and
Yes.
they're all intertwined. So what you just said about people being laid off, hey, everybody's going to be in agreement with that, even though you would think first thought would be, well, corporations not going to go along with that because they're going to sell less product, less this, less that. But hey, they know the secret too. They know that they can get more by working with government and forcing you to have to do, quote unquote, live off less, because in the end, they're going to win more. It's just like when you said this morning, somebody wanted to sell. They said, well, I wanted to, or earlier, you said the person said, I need this $30,000, but I wanted to sell some stock or whatever. You said, oh, no. You don't sell when it's low. Yeah. You buy when it's low. So many people, and we know, Rob, when there's a recession, hey, it's just a recession for quote unquote poor people.
That's right. You're 100% right.
Rob,
100%.
But Rob, please get that point in, because I think that people feel like when we hurt, everybody's hurting.
No,
everybody's not hurting.
No,
when they're laying off, they're gonna make. As a matter of fact, they may make more money when they lay off.
They do. They do. When corporations lay off tens of thousands of people, they make more money because that's less payroll they have to. And then when they do that, that means prices go down, supplies go down. Corporations can buy them cheaper.
Bang. That's what, Rob. I just didn't want us to roll past that because
Yeah.
people would think, oh man, we think that, just like I have family members. If a hurricane comes anywhere to Florida, are you all y'all all right? I said, I said the hurricane is in Pensacola, Panama City, or Jacksonville, or all the way. Hey, yeah, but see, and we think that when the economy is bad, that the economy is bad for everybody. No, the economy is not bad for everybody.
No, when the economy is so-called bad for poor or middle income people, it's very good for wealthy people because wealthy people can buy everything cheaper. And then the government basically saying, listen, we need to tighten and have less money on the street, and everything become cheaper. People laid off, everything become much more affordable. But the people that got the most of the money, they can buy even more then. You see, and then corporations get rewarded every time they do lay off people because their payroll is less, and they still got the product. They still going on. They still selling,
and they still got their write-offs.
and they still got their write-offs. So, but James, that's a course in economics that the average person, they don't teach us understanding money. They don't teach that in school. They don't teach it in college. They don't, because the system needs people to be ignorant to the fact, and the media and the TV will entertain most of us till we don't even care anymore to understand what we're talking about right now. That's why this show is called Understanding Money. But if you want to prosper, if you want to go behind the curtains and find out what's and why, then tune in every Saturday to Understanding Money, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 starts from 9 to 10, and part 2, we recap. It comes from 10:15 to 11:15, and we already over right now.
Oh yeah, Rob, we gotta go because you got the service. You got.
Yes, I gotta take care. I gotta go somewhere. Hey, and after that, I'm coming back to the office because I got a client.
Hey man, it's always good. We thank everybody for checking it out, and believe me, listen. If you get some notes, I know that we all have busy lives, but if you can pass on any of this information to help somebody else, and particularly our youth. Our young people, don't let them be hoodwinked and bamboozled and believing that the only way I want to live my life is get all this stuff that everybody's telling me I need to have.
Yes. So James, you got to go take us out with prayer, bro.
Hey, Father God, we thank you for the opportunity. We pray for blessings for everyone, everywhere. We know that people are dealing with all kinds of situations. Dear God, I spoke with Dr. Pike on this week, and he's saying that, hey, if you are not vaccinated, that you can still get this COVID. So please, and if you get COVID and you're vaccinated, you stand a great chance of survival. So for the health of everybody everywhere, dealing with all kinds of situations, adults and children, God, we ask that you would bless us with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we can use wisely those things that you have given us so that we can have that mindset of controlling our mind to the ends that we desire. And we desire to be the best we can be with the blessings that you have given us. And we promise to praise you and bless others. In Jesus' name, amen.
Let the church say amen. Amen. How you doing, Miss Redhead, Mr. Redhead? Good morning, Miss Lily Mae Vickers. How you doing, Brenda Brown and Sam? Hey, listen, if you guys missed the morning show, we had a good show also from 9 to 10. Linda and I, go back and recap that and also look at it. It's on Facebook and YouTube now. So Understanding Money. We love you. Peace. We'll talk to you later. We got to go.
I got to go.
Be safe.